New York can be very
The
fast-paced.
stereotype is that New Yorkers are always on the go.
I think New Yorkers are always on the go.
New Yorkers might seem hurried.
I don't know. I don't think they're hurried, but there's always like another destination.
New Yorkers are fast walkers.
The New York accent can be quick.
I think the New York accent is fast.
I think it's intense.
A lot of people feel New Yorkers are intense.
I think the New York accent is expressive.
The New York accent can be emphatic.
Ooh, we are emphatic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the New York accent has a lot of mannerisms.
Definitely has a lot of mannerisms. Speaking with your hands. I'm speaking with my hands right now.
Some people say it's loud.
Everybody says New Yorkers are loud.
People do tell me I'm loud.
New York will always be loud, for sure.
New York is exciting.
New York can be wild.
Definitely dynamic.
It's totally energetic.
People might think, like, how do New Yorkers find peace? I mean, how does anybody find peace? You find peace within yourself.
I find New York to be a very restful place. You just need to get out of the center of the city. One of my current peaceful spots is Prospect Park.
No sight of buildings, no sight of traffic, an oasis in the middle of a mess.
And there are so many oases in New York.
Almost anywhere immediately after a snowstorm.
Home, Central Park, and the beach.
The beach, the Rockaways, is peaceful. And the financial district at night.
Taking public transit, not all the time. Just when things like line up, okay? Watching the sunrise when you're on the elevated part of the tracks, it's like every day that struck me. Like this is New York. And the other stuff is New York too.
New York is pretty filthy.
It can be dirty.
Sometimes I think New York is a mess.
For sure, a meat grinder of a place.
Some people say New Yorkers are angry.
New Yorkers can be aggressive.
Lots of people think New Yorkers are rude.
New Yorkers might seem rude, but we're nice.
I think New Yorkers are kind but not nice.
New York accent might seem gruff and tough.
The New York accent can be rough.
When you think New York accent, you think of what you use in the street, and so you have to have that level of roughness.
Some people say the New York accent is harsh.
It can be angry.
I think the New York accent has a lot of cursing.
No, the New York accent doesn't have a lot of cursing, no more so than any other accent.
It depends. If it needs to be. If curse needs to be said, we say it. We don't hold back.
Some people say New York is slick.
I think New York can be sweet.
A lot of New Yorkers are slick.
I think the New York accent can be suave. I feel like you can meet some of the most abrasive people, but you can also meet some of like the softest or suave, smooth kind of people as well.
Rough and sleek. New York is both.
I think that is the thing about New York, is that it is always both. That's what makes it kind of amazing. There could be a lot of newness and a lot of oldness in the same place, you know?
And the shows are like that too. You could go to Broadway and feel all polished, or you could go off Broadway and be in some little room with 12 chairs and you got these great performers just trying to do their thing.
You have it's shiny and pretty and bright, and then you have the real world where people are hustling and they're trying to make it.
Anywhere you are, you're not far from like the shit in a good way.
There's too much stuff going on for things to go right everywhere.
Some people think New York is a shithole.
New York can be a shithole.
Some people say New York is dangerous.
Some people think New York is scary.
And some people say it's finished.
Yeah, I think New York is finished.
It's never finished.
I think the New York accent is stigmatized.
The New York accent is definitely stigmatized.
Some people say the New York accent is disgusting.
Some people say it's the worst accent.
But I want to hear what they speak like.
Some people think it's nice.
Many people think the New York accent is charming.
Some people say it's sexy.
I think the New York accent is hot.
A lot of people think the New York accent is cool.
I do think it's cool. I think it's a cool accent.
New Yorkers may seem weird.
They can be very weird.
New Yorkers are fierce.
New Yorkers are savvy.
If somebody falls into the subway tracks and 10 people jump down to pick them up, that's what New Yorkers are. New Yorkers are very understanding.
I think people have very exaggerated opinions about New York. When people do come here, they find that New Yorkers don't always live up to the stereotype of being rude.
The hate will always be there, and we'll take it. It doesn't stop us from being our true New York self.
Unless you are from New York, you don't realize how resilient we are. And I think that during times of tragedy, people that don't have a real bond with the city, left and didn't really look back. But a true New Yorker stayed and fought it out.
It's not for everyone, and that's okay. You can hate it. I'm okay with that because there's so many other people who love it, and we're not leaving.
I used to not like my accent, but now I've grown to love it, especially as people point out that they can tell where I'm from. They can tell I'm from New York.
And I never knew I had an accent until we went to sleepaway camp in Jersey. I didn't even realize how I sounded until everyone was like, oh my God, say orange, say coffee, and I'm like, wow, you say coffee, When I lived in the Midwest, it was the first time I ever felt some kind of
pride of place because I had never been told that I spoke different than other people.
It was never a big deal. Like, I didn't think about a New York accent until I was in undergrad out of New York, and people would tell me I had an accent. I'm like, I don't think I have an accent. You have an accent. You're from Texas, you know? Like, that's an accent.
When I hear it in my own recorded voice, I'm horrified. But I enjoy it. I enjoy hearing it. And it's like a toughness that I respect for whatever that's worth. I just don't buy into it when I hear it in my own voice. Yeah.
You know, it's also very different if I'm sitting here on the couch talking to you versus screaming at an idiot in the subway or something, you know, which I do.
You kind of like phase in and out of it, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know, you get into character and then it comes on a little stronger.
When I go into reading mode, it's different than when I'm in like my conversation mode. Or I can be having a conversation with, I can change my accent, you know what I mean? But if I'm with my girlfriend, sure, the Brooklyn comes out, stop.
I just love the idea of like the New York accent being this like constantly evolving thing depending on who you're talking to and like the experiences that they have and stuff like that.
I love the New York accent. I like the way I speak. I think the way I speak has character. I think the way that I speak is distinct. And I made an intentional decision to keep it that way.
I wish that I had more of a New York accent. When I speak more and more relaxed, I do at times, and that makes me happy that it's there. I hope that one day I'll have a deeper New York accent than I do now, because I think I did once, and I would like some of that back.
The older I get, the more I think the New York accent is probably the best accent in the country, and I don't say that out of local pride. We distinguish between the vowels a lot more than other Americans do. I think our accent is almost the clearest.
And our accents, it's a mixture of so many different places. And I think that's also what makes it fun.
Why am I going to deny the New York accent? No, it's who I am.
New York is the place to be.
New York is special. I think it's one of the most special places in the entire world. We're lucky. I think we're also crazy.
New York has always been more than a place.
There is no getting away. You could move to the other side of the country, and no matter where you go, no other city is going to feel real.
I think New York is gorgeous.
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 Beautiful.
This is the greatest city in the world.
I'm a New Yorker. What can I tell you? You know?